Okay, so big thing about shaping stuff. I will just turn kind of sideways. Especially on sugar push stuff too, you're coming in so square, like square and keeping it here, and then you'll like open up just at the very end. So I want you to think about utilizing the shape the whole entire time. Yes. So 1, 2. Even if you open it here, because this already he's like, oh, I can respond to that. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. 2. There's easy ways to be able to recover that and work off of it, yeah? And you can shape it either direction. It can go left or right. Maybe I take it left and swing that open. Instead of it always being like square here and then only opening at the very end, right? Thinking about also shaping your leader shape as they kind of swing that top side, I want you to think about directly kind of matching that. So my chest plane is going to match my leader's chest plane, or if you shift slightly to your right, maybe I actually shift my left. So now we're still complementing each other here, but I can also be here and we're still complementing each other. Yeah? So thinking about really, I'm sorry, shaping your leader's shape. We talked about some fun things, monkey bars, and some other stuff. So I am going to do this. When you roll this in, we're going to turn it this way, so I end up on that side, rolling it into that inside roll. I want you just to think of this literally as an inside turn. Yes, so from here, you're just going to continue that rotation, and that left hand underneath his tricep, you have basically that exit strategy to walk out and be ready to bring it forward for whatever happens next. The multiple different exits you can basically utilize, right? The same thing, you can do the back bend, and this is, I'm just going to do this one, so just know, right? Back bending it through, you're just going to rotate right away out of that one and be ready to turn. And then the other one, this is the one that you're like, I can't get up. It's just the positioning of your legs. So that left leg should be forward. And now, instead of being underneath, I'm basically going to have my hand kind of on the top of his arm. I'm just going to take this down and out. Holy cow.
Are you guys okay?
Yes.
I was not prepared.
No, I wasn't prepared either. I got really scared. I was about ready to like bolt out this door. Like, what's happening? All right, and we're back. So all those different things are kind of your exit strategies. I also just want you to think, when you're in this position and you're like, ooh, okay, I'm not really comfortable, the second you kind of slide down to the leader's hand, this should be a note for you leaders, just release. Walk it out and allow the space to open, yeah? So keep that as a mental note for yourself. You'll kind of find like the leaders, sorry, I'm gonna roll that to the proper side. You'll kind of sense the leaders that kind of know that, and like the second you do this, they'll just let you out of that and not force you into that pocket. Some of the turns and stylings and things, one, I kept asking you where you were looking. Make sure that when you come around, you find your leader. Yeah, one, it's gonna bring your turns and rotations around. And then speaking of turns and rotations, that arm line, you keep pulling that arm in, or sometimes in your stylings, you have like that broken wrist, you kind of taking the hands on the hips here, which is fine for some things, but you're kind of closing things off. And the few times you are coming in toward your leader, and this is a dangerous position and spot for you to be in. So I want you to think about letting that arm float off of that body, wherever you are, bringing that in, opening those arms back out. You did like the tuck. This is great. I'm great with this, but then you need to let that float off and open back, especially in turns. Now we're going to go into like let's take some of those outside turns. This is what was happening, right? Outside, you bring this in, and what happens is it shapes your left side so far forward that your left foot started to track forward, when really that should come back into your anchor foot connection. Yeah? So think about that with the arm. I like the shape, like in a tuck. Sorry, I didn't tell you any direction. But then it needs to float off so you can have that left side back and open. And then in turns and rotations, not having all 4 of those fingers connected to your leader, we're only using those middle 2. That's our power. And our leader is basically using those middle 2, especially for our turns. So think about that, and then always want you to think about pulsing those turns. You'll feel that pulse from the leaders when they do, and it's wonderful and magical. In some of the hip catches, let's go this way so I can face her. So like in a hip catch, or like that the rainbow. All right, so this opens. First of all, you can reach that leg, right leg back behind, and then use this to open. It doesn't have to go here and here. Maybe you collect and just finish it on this side. If you're gonna bring it back, I didn't want you to just bring the chest. I want you to actually shift the weight so then you can step and get into that turn or however you want to exit it at the end. I think that was most of the stuff that we covered. Yeah. After any kind of turns or when you're launching into turns, you're not pushing your connection up, trying to find the leader's connection. And then once the turn finishes, bring those shoulders back down. Yeah?
Yes.